But of course the impact would be on a larger scale. Therefore, the policy of merging provinces is a necessary step in streamlining the administrative. Secondly, from an economic perspective, the current fragmentation of resources also leads to uneven development among the provinces. The practice of dividing administrative units into excessively small ones leads to conflicts. Even competition stifles each other's development. Localities with large populations or small-scale economies will find it difficult to attract investment and implement large-scale projects. For example, a province with fewer than 1 million people would find it difficult to compete with densely populated areas like Dong Nai or Bin Duong in terms of industry and urbanization. Mergers will help create larger administrative units capable of implementing regional-scale projects. For example, if Hanam and Ninh Binh were merged with Nam Dinh, the new province could leverage Nam Dinh seaport and its proximity to Hanoi to develop. Provinces like Ha Giang or Dien Bien have traditionally struggled to attract investment. It will also undergo a transformation when it joins forces with neighboring localities, creating additional strengths to implement large-scale projects. In fact, besides the two provinces mentioned above, Tuang, Lao Cai, Dak Nong, Cao Bang, and Yen Bai all have large natural areas and populations of around 1 million people, but their socio-economic development levels are still modest. According to the Socio-Economic Development Ranking, by 2021, these provinces were classified as underdeveloped. Meanwhile, many other provinces have run out of room for further breakthroughs, such as Bac Ninh, Hưng Yen, and Annam. Thus, the merger will create new development opportunities, helping provinces leverage each other's strengths to form major economic centers. This is similar to how we work in teams. You are very good at your job, but weak in English. Obviously, your teammate might be excellent in this language, but their professional skills may not be as good as yours. When working independently, both have their own strengths but also significant limitations. If you need to persuade a foreign partner, it's clear that with limited foreign language skills, you can't do it. At this point, you'll need your teammate, and they'll need you too, because a partner certainly won't be convinced if they're talking to someone who isn't a good passer. Mutual support will help the team achieve work efficiency, save time, and still leverage their individual strengths. Similarly, when a province with the advantage of a seaport merges with another province that has an abundant labor force and a large land area, if separated, each province would face many limitations in its economic development. But when merged, both can leverage each other's strengths, attract investment, and create a sustainable economy. Imagine a province in the Red River Delta that possesses both bustling cities, vast rice paddies, and modern industrial zones. A mountainous province in the north will embrace high mountains, valleys, and deep forests, creating favorable conditions for the development of. A province in central Vietnam can combine the blue sea with the deep forest, maximizing natural advantages. A southern province will blend rivers and islands, boosting the marine economy. Mergers are not just about streamlining the administrative map. They are also an opportunity for Vietnam to transform small, fragmented localities into strong and promising entities, ultimately setting the criteria of 1 million inhabitants and 5,000 KMIs for each province also points towards a long-term strategic vision. One of these is the promotion of key economic regions such as the Southeast and the Red River Delta. According to the 2021 National Master Plan, mergers will create provinces large enough to compete internationally, similar to the Guangdong mega province model in China, with an Area of approximately 800 km. It is about half the size of Vietnam. However, Guangdong's population reached approximately 126 million. 2020. The capital of Guangdong is, along with Shenzhen. These are two major economic centers with rapid development rates comparable to Beijing and Shanghai. The Pearl River Delta region in Guangdong is considered the world's largest megacity, playing a crucial role in international trade due to its strategic location as a gateway to the sea. This mega model is planned and developed, focusing on three main areas: high technology, manufacturing, and logistics. Guangdong's GDP has consistently led China for many years. If Guangdong were considered an independent country, its economy would rank 13th in the world, surpassing many countries such as South Korea, Spain, Australia, and the Netherlands. From the above fact, it can be seen that merging administrative units to create large-scale provinces will optimize resources and enhance international competitiveness. For example, if Bindong and Badiu Vungtao were merged, it would create a major economic impetus for the southeast region. In fact, the streamlining of primary lighting units in countries around the world has proven to be an inevitable trend of the times. Developed countries like Japan, Denmark, and Germany also had to go through the process of annexation. Consider Japan in the 2000s. The country faced a growing population and the increasing cost of maintaining its bureaucracy was putting a heavy burden on the national budget. The government decided to streamline the local administrative apparatus. Small adjacent administrative units were merged into largest. A prime example is the merger of CDC and its surrounding areas. As a result, the number of administrative units decreased from over 3,200 to approximately 1,700, streamlining the bureaucracy, attracting investment in infrastructure, and improving public services. Denmark also implemented a landmark reform in 2007. Instead of maintaining costly administrative counties, the Danish government eliminated intermediate levels, retaining only 5 major regions. Each region is responsible for healthcare and public transportation. Most other basic services have been decentralized to the municipal governments. Following the reforms, the number of administrative units decreased from 271. The country saved 20% on operating costs while increasing its social welfare budget by 15% in Germany. However, this approach did not occur uniformly. Each table has its own method of merging based on the 3 eastern regions, such as Brandenburg, Mecklenburg, and Vorpommern, proceeded to merge numerous small districts to form larger units capable of development. In short, they all share a common goal to reduce the number of administrative units and increase the scale of each locality, aiming for sustainable maritime development. Lessons from all 3 countries show that mergers have opened up opportunities for local economic development. According to the plan, the government has agreed on a strategy to reduce the number of provincial-level administrative units by approximately 50% after the mergers. This crucial task is expected to be completed before August 30, 2025. But why is the merger so urgent at this time? Let's look back at the obstacles that led to the previous division of provinces. Geographical distance used to be a major obstacle in economic management and development, but nowadays, the transportation infrastructure has some outstanding features. The interregional highway system, airports, seaports, and subways are constantly being improved, helping to shorten travel time and increase connectivity between administrative centers. For example, previously, traveling from Ho Chi Minh City to Dong Nai or Bao Diu, Vung Tao took at least 2 to 3 hours. on National Highways 1 and 51. But now, that time has been shortened to only about 1 hour thanks to the Ho Chi Minh City Long Than Dao Day Expressway. Clearly, the distance problem is no longer a major issue at the present time. Moreover, the digital revolution has opened up a new trend, helping to bridge all gaps in the digital age, and effective government no longer depends on the number of provinces and cities, but rather on how it is organized and how it applies technology. Let's go back to the story of Germany and Denmark. Denmark is a prime example of the application of technology in administrative management, alongside the process of cutting down on intermediaries. The country is also promoting e-government. Citizens can submit applications, look up information, and complete administrative procedures entirely online. Germany is also following this path by encouraging local authorities to adopt information technology, creating a transparent, efficient, and convenient administrative environment for citizens. The common lesson from these countries is that administrative mergers must be accompanied by innovation in infrastructure investment, especially technological infrastructure. If digital technology is used effectively, all administrative procedures will become faster and more convenient than ever before. With just a smartphone and an internet connection, you can register for all kinds of documents without having to go to the administrative office in person. At this point, geographical distance is no longer a major concern. This can be seen not only as a streamlined consolidation on the map, but also as a bold shift in the thinking of state management. If we don't seize this opportunity now, it may never come again. Some initial benefits are already visible. However, this will be a very long journey, and there will certainly be many challenges and obstacles along the way. In all social matters, the human element must always be prioritized. The Vietnamese state is a state of the people, by the people, and for the people. Therefore, if a policy is not in line with public sentiment, it will certainly face many obstacles. In fact, since the plan to merge provinces was first proposed, there have been quite a few conflicting opinions. One of the biggest concerns among people right now is the fear of losing their local identity, something that has been intertwined with the life, culture, and pride of each region. That's exactly the right sentiment. Fong Trula empathizes with the country as if it were her homeland, all for the sake of its overall development. In addition, the problem of choosing a new administrative center or naming the province after the merger is also not simple. This is not just an administrative issue. It also impacts the psychology, emotions, and interests of the people. The name of a locality is not merely an administrative designation, but also carries the history of each region. When that name is mentioned, people not only picture the location but also sense the living space, customs, and values that the place has preserved. If the new name only retains one province in the group to be merged, people in the remaining province may feel erased and lose their identity. They weren't against the merger itself, but they objected to the naming convention being biased. This inadvertently stirs up regional sensitivities, leading to unnecessary arguments and resentment. When the name of a locality is replaced without a successor, it is a great loss for the people. Of course, any major reform will face many challenges, but difficult doesn't mean impossible, because the process of merging provinces is not a destination but a necessary step for Vietnam to develop sustainably, strongly, and be ready to integrate into the world, to have a healthy body. Sometimes we have to take bitter medicine or endure pain during tumor surgery in order to become healthy. Ha music.